I've been looking at this point of competition within myself in my process, and how to transform that point and live the solution to that competition point, which is seeing all as equal. And what I realized within this point is that competition is based on ideas, thoughts, and ideas in one's head. So basically thinking. So one has to walk through the thoughts, the thinking. This is what I had to do. I walked through all the thoughts, the competition points within myself. And say there was, the point of competition, and I could see it in 20 areas in my life. So I, one by one, take on each point and walk it, the self-forgiveness, understanding the point as me, this small little piece of information in terms of competition, and work with that point, transcend that point, and then move on to the next point. So using what I learned through that one point to bring it with me to the next point. So now I've gained understanding for myself, and now I'm more empowered in that point to move on to the next point. So it accumulates the change that you process within yourself through self-forgiveness and understanding yourself through writing, and then living the change. So as you walk through, say, the competition point, as I walk through competition for myself, each point I take on, move through and change and start implementing that change in my living, start living that point. I found it supported me to be more empowered, yes, and stable in my reality. In terms of having the understanding, so more able to move in my reality in terms of conversations with people, or being able to handle my emotions in conversations with people, not being so reactive. Seeing if I do go into a competition point, say I'm having a conversation and a point that we disagree on, where the person is starting to speak their piece on their point, how they see it, and then I speak my piece on my point and how I see it, and then we just don't agree. And so sometimes that point can go into reaction and fighting, like a fighting within and fighting with the person. So obviously that outflow is abusive and creates abuse in the outflows that consequence can create, the many outflows. So you also want to, in the change process, understand what you're changing and why. So if I participate in that point of disagreement and then reacting to the disagreement, because energy does come up, you want to defend yourself. It's like a point of defense, survival, needing to be right, righteous, self-righteous. And through that breeds power, wanting to have control, power over the other person, wanting to win, wanting to be the best. So competition breeds all sorts of outflows of abuse. So you have to learn about all of it within yourself, who you are within that. And once you start opening the point up and working with it point by point, and you start accumulating that change process within you, start accumulating the moments of time and space that you actually walked your process and changed yourself, accumulates within yourself. And then you can use that in the moments here. When a new point comes up, and you either can move it through it quicker because you've now implemented the change process that you've seen, or it's a new point you have to look at and understand and start investigating within yourself. So that's another point that supported me, was taking on, say, the competition point and start investigating who I am within competition in my life, and start taking notes on the points that come up. And as the point comes up, say the point of disagreement with another and fighting with that person, as that point came up, I worked with it in that moment. I took it on as I saw it, so I don't forget about it. Like if you let it sit, say, and 3 or 4 days go by, you miss the point. You don't actually take it into the change process or take it into self-forgiveness. What supported me is to take on the points as they come up in the moment. And yeah, this becomes part of my life. It has become part of my life living. It's like a lifestyle change that has occurred pretty naturally as I've walked this process and committed to changing myself within it. So yeah, it becomes part of living, but you become more empowered within yourself as you see the change process take place. You start to transform the competition point and all the little tentacles that exist within this competition point in one's living. You start to change those little tentacles into like, how I see it is like water. Like now that point can flow. You can flow within that point because now you have more control to direct yourself in what is best. So I always aligned myself to what is best for all, no matter what kind of points came up in terms of addictions, wanting to be special, wanting to be right. I always brought it back to the point of, okay, if I'm special and I took the point and brought it into the consequence or outflow that could create. So, and then through that, you've become self-honest within it. You realize, all right, me being special makes other people not special. That creates separation. That creates a belief that I'm more powerful than these other people for whatever reason, when in reality, the understanding that I've come to in terms of taking on the competition point is that in reality we're all equals. We all have potential. Everybody has the best potential within them. Where we've gotten stuck and lost is the content. We've created a relationship to the content of that person or of ourselves. We've created relationships to, say, the way someone looks or the way I look. I've created now a relationship of, okay, because I look this way, I'm this person. Because that person looks that way, that's who they are. And making ideas and judgments and beliefs and creating opinions about people, which those thoughts and opinions and living into that thought process, say, creates outflows of separation. So yeah, so the point I came to in terms of realizing the solution for competition is to see all as equals. Everybody has their own potential and within them, and each one is in their own process of living, and no process can be compared with another process. It's completely unique within self, and nobody can pass judgment or any kind of point onto another, because you also realize that everything is one. So me and the other person are equals. Like we're equal and we're one as the same life substance. So it's a wholesome type perspective that's understood through the principled living, and through that understanding, and start living the correction point of seeing everybody as equal, all have potential in the best way, using common sense in your living world, because obviously there's all sorts of beings here walking their own processes in all different location points. So you have to use common sense in terms of living your life, become efficient within your time. And I mean, that's what I've done for me, and that's what supported me to become stable and efficient in my life, being able to get things done. And I'm able to keep up with the Desteni process, keep up with like the participating in blogs and writing and participating on chats and just staying in the networks, as well as running a business full time. And it's pretty an established business, so it's quite operation going on there. And having social life, So you're able to create your life in a way that is efficient and supportive if you use common sense in your living. You use your resources, and you don't give up on the potential that you can see within yourself. You can create a whole different type of life just based on changing your thinking and your living in your real living world. Changing that point of how you live. What are you living from? What principles are you living within your life? How do you see yourself? So yeah, it's a process, of course, but Desteni process supports with that change process that takes many years, but it doesn't take forever. So, I mean, I've been walking process for 10 years now, and I'm starting to see significant change within my living, so I'm just kind of exploring and recording what I've seen as my change so people can get a gauge. And yeah, we can keep moving in the direction of living our change, changing what is best, being a voice for life and what is best for all, and standing as that point as our living examples. So we can get this world sorted, living in peace, and we can start really creating in harmony and our expression of who we are within ourselves, our real living best potential. So that's my focus points. Those are my goals of the group, I would say. Desteni group, and we welcome all. Come join, check it out if you're new to this points. Desteni, Equoff, Earth Haven, self-forgiveness. It's impactful, and it's changed my life for the better in many, many ways. So I can't say enough about the support I've gotten through the Desteni group. And check it out. Thanks for listening. Till next time. Bye.